welcome back to Ben Rants. And when I was a kid, boomers thought Facebook meant putting your face in a book. So yeah, superhero movies. I remember a time when, hey, how come you're not talking about cartoons? Talk about cartoons! I'm not your maid! I can talk about whatever I want! Shut up! I remember a time when superhero movies were movies made by geeks for geeks. Rarely did they take the country or world by storm. It was also a crapshoot if they were either good, or bad, or what were you thinking? Times have changed. Now what was seen as niche geek culture has become mainstream blockbuster events. It's not only a guarantee that superhero movies are going to be good, it's a promise. For the most part. And it's thanks mostly to movies produced by Marvel Studios, which has become known as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. Not gonna lie, I used to be one of the people who did not get into these movies. What reason did I have? Well, none really. Because I grew up with Cartoon Network, which is owned by Warner Brothers, which also owns Detective Comics, I got used to all the heroes in the Bruce Timm universe. I guess you can say I considered myself a DC fanboy. As for Marvel, well, I loved Spider-Man growing up, and I watched X-Men Evolution when it was on Kids WB. That's about it. All the other heroes, I didn't give two flub nugs about. In fact, my least favorite episodes of Spider-Man the Animated Series was when they had crossovers with other Marvel heroes like Daredevil, Iron Man, and Captain America. Like, I don't care about this crap! This is Spider-Man's cartoon! I'm here to watch Spider-Man! Get out! My first exposure to the MCU was when I was at a party and we watched the first Thor. And it was bad. Like, really bad. So boring and gray. Pretty much represented my problem I had with superhero movies at the time. It was trying to make flashy and flamboyant characters all gritty and serious. So I chalked up the first Thor movie sucking to the Marvel movies sucking in general. I know, I blow. But that didn't stop these movies from coming out and more people I knew talking about how awesome they were. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I bit my tongue and watched one with my full attention, the Avengers. And I know some people throw the phrase life-changing experience around, but this time, I mean it when I say it. It was a life-changing experience. At that point, I knew I had to watch another. And then another! I even went out of my way to get myself a Marvel Blu-ray collection. Oh my god, what's wrong with my hand? So, as they say, the rest is history. Who is that they anyway? It don't matter. I became quite the Marvel fan. Well, Marvel movies fan. As for the comics, pfft, do I look like the kind of guy who reads comics? I can't even read the directions on my pill bottles. So anyway, I'm ignoring that. So, what caused me to change my tune on the Marvel movies? As an action movie connoisseur, I noticed that Hollywood action movies were lacking when it came to the pure insanity of Asian action films. Holy crap, the human body wasn't built for that kind of punishment the Easterners put themselves through. However, I soon discovered Marvel movies ain't my daddy's comic book movies. They step on the gas and they don't let off. I'd put a lot of Marvel movies in a list of best action movies ever made. They're that well put together. Even a dummy like me was able to sit down and watch one of the ensemble movies without feeling lost. I didn't care if I didn't recognize some of the characters. I was too busy enjoying myself. All I was missing was the fresh buttered popcorn. On top of non-stop action, Marvel movies are flat out hilarious. Superhero movies that try to take themselves too seriously end up failing. Hard. When you get down to it, it's people with flashy powers flying around in multicolored costumes. You gotta have a little fun with that, man! Marvel movies don't just have a little fun, they have full-on fun. Movies like Thor Ragnarok, the Spider-Man movies, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and the Ant-Man movies are perfect examples of that. Even the most serious of Marvel movies still have well-written humor in them, which makes them all the more hilarious because you don't expect it. I think movies that constantly make you laugh while blowing you away with special effects are A+ in my book. Now, you'll get the snooty movie fans that will say, Marvel movies suck because they are the prime example of big budget Hollywood schlock distracting audiences from true art films made by independent directors. To them I say, ho ho ho, You poor stupid person who used to be me. You can't be further from the truth. In order to keep Marvel movies unique so each one stands out from the other, while still being connected together, Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, has recruited several indie filmmakers to take a crack at directing big-budget epic blockbusters. A lot of these directors have gotten their big breaks because of Marvel movies. James Gunn cut his teeth working for Lloyd Kaufman and making his own cult films Slither and Super before making Guardians of the Galaxy. Want to know what Anthony and Joe Russo's big acclaim was before Marvel? You, Me, and Dupree. Remember that movie? That's what I thought. Peyton Reed? Mostly romantic comedies. Scott Derrickson was a horror director, which makes me all the more excited for the next Doctor Strange movie because it's supposed to be a horror movie. John Watts. You ever seen this movie? I haven't. He's making the Spider-Man movies now. Taika Waititi, holy crap I pronounced that right, made a bunch of indie films in his native New Zealand until he graced the world with the masterpiece that is Ragnarok. Anna Boden and Robert Flack, again, low-budget movies before being handed Captain Marvel. It just goes to show that Hollywood ain't a boys' club and that independent filmmakers are getting their time to shine, and this trend is showing no signs of slowing down. I've read your guys' comments. You'd like to see me get a little more angry since I came back. Well, as much as I love these movies, there is something related to them that really gets my tires squealing. It's the nerds on the internet who constantly complain about how woke these movies are. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. There are the vocal minority who think they're the general majority. Those who believe whatever movie they don't like is gonna fail because they have women and minorities in them, I guess. Now, let's make it clear. They ain't racist or anything. They just happen to not like movies that have women and minorities in them. But they have totally legit reasons for not liking them, like, I don't know. These are the same people who complained a video game set during World War II wasn't realistic enough because you can play as a woman. Yeah, then why don't you play the super realistic Call of Duty Zombies to get your history fix? Well, I hate to break it to y'all, but who the hell cares? Who cares if Marvel movies have a woman as a star? Who cares if they have a black person as a star? And who the hell cares that a woman is going to replace Chris Hemsworth as Thor? It's still going to be better than those crappy Thor movies. Don't act like I'm wrong. There's a reason these movies don't go broke, as you guys predict they will. Because the majority of people in the world are, what's the word, normal? We ain't bothered by diversity in media. Why? Because it's not the 1940s anymore. Black people can drink from the same fountain as white people. Women can support themselves. And yes, boys can kiss boys and girls can kiss girls. I'm amazed that the same people who laugh at angry college student compilations on YouTube are the same people who think that Marvel is literally killing white people just for showing audiences that there's different cultures and skin colors in the world. Your low self-esteem and your masculinity is showing. But hey, can't say I really blame you, grifters. You're just trying to cater to the audience of people who took their grandpa's racist rant seriously and constantly forget to check that their calendar says 2019. So, I like to think y'all really aren't like this and you're just kissing angry white boy asses for money. If so, screw you for making thousands of dollars in ad revenue off of a farce and helping this toxic way of looking at media spread across the internet. But if y'all are serious and this is what you actually think, well, that's pretty sad you're letting such minor and shallow reasons ruin movie experiences for you. Well, do us a favor, and let the people who love their fun superhero movies enjoy themselves, and keep your dagnab garbage politics out of them and our faces. At the end of the day, y'all are the ones making this crap political because you chose to make it that way. Minorities existing in media is not a political issue, you backwards thinking hicks. I'm a redneck, I can say that. And if what I said came off as too harsh, Pearl, you want to help me out here?
Humans just lead short, boring, insignificant lives, so they make up stories to feel like they're a part of something bigger. They want to blame all the world's problems on some single enemy they can fight, instead of a complex network of interrelated forces beyond anyone's control.
Woo! That felt good. Okay, back to the fun stuff. I guess the best way to wrap up talking about Marvel movies is to give my top 6 personal favorites. Why top 6? I don't know, just cuz. Number 6, Captain Marvel. Hang on, I gotta deal with this. Next time I'm aiming for your head! Anyway, I know it ain't the most epic of the MCU, but does that mean it's horrible? Of course not. They all can't be Endgame people. I just love the 90s nostalgia, the girl power, and the soundtrack. Put a good soundtrack in anything, I'll love it. And Brie Larson is hot, blow me. Number 5, Spider-Man Far From Home. The MCU got the Spider-Man formula right. Sure, the Raimi and Mark Webb Spider-Mans were fun for the time, but this is the Spider-Man that all Spidey fans were waiting for. Seeing as how it's fresh in my mind, I'm going to go with Far From Home for this spot. I love the European setting, and we finally got Mysterio, one of my fave Spidey villains, in live action form, and Jake Gyllenhaal killed it! Also, is it just me, or is this the funniest MCU film? I almost left myself dead in the theaters. Number 4, Black Panther. I love African culture, and this movie is full of it. People might have said it was a little overhyped, but considering the cultural significance of it, I don't agree at all. Did it deserve a Best Picture Oscar nomination? Hell yeah it did! The costumes, the action, the music, the production design, everything about this film was amazing. I loved it so much, I went and got myself a Black Panther t-shirt. To those of you who thought this movie wasn't a big deal because movies like Steel and Catwoman were good enough for black people, then I guess movies like Batman and Robin and Superman 4 were good enough for white people. Yeah, screw you. What did I say about keeping your damn politics out of my damn superhero movies? Wakanda forever, bitches! Number 3, Thor Ragnarok. As mentioned before, I saw the first Thor movie, thought it was crap, didn't even bother with the second one, and I heard people say that one was actually worse. So my expectations were low for this one. It's like Marvel made the first 2 Thor movies meh on purpose just so this one will look god tier by comparison. The visuals are trippy and colorful, the action is cartoony and flashy, and the humor? It's got the humor. Core 2020. With Taika returning for Thor Love and Thunder, I can't wait to see more of his style shine through in that one. Cause, if it's more of this, just liquefy it and pump it in my vein. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. I put these 2 together cause, hey, I have to. It's a long ass epic separated into 2 movies. It's like Kill Bill's Volume 1 and 2. You can't have one without the other. So yeah, I ain't exaggerating when I say that the Avengers series is the cinematic experience of our time. 11 years of build-up paid off with a grand-scale conclusion that delivered in satisfaction and revenue. Number 1, Captain America Civil War. Sure, Avengers kickstarted my love of Marvel, but Civil War solidified it. Everything about this movie I just adore. The opening action scene, the plot, the ensemble cast, the fight at the airport, it's just a fun ride from start to finish. It's a good old-fashioned action thriller movie that just happens to have superheroes in it. It's a blockbuster that will live on forever in my heart. So that's a short sampling based on my personal taste and movies I had the most fun with. I really wanted to put more on the list, as I really love Iron Man 3, cause hey, Shane friggin' Black directed it. But I think that's a good sample of the 6 movies I think sum up Marvel's best for me. I'm glad I've gotten into these, and I'm glad they're going to keep getting made. I know they're going to live on with the greatest long-running movie franchises like James Bond, Star Wars, and even my own personal favorite, Godzilla. If you were intimidated to get into Marvel because there's so much to keep track of, or you just want to be an anti-anything awesome like I was, pick a movie you want and jump right in. You never know where it may take you. I've been T. Looney. I'm gonna go fix YouTube's algorithm to stop recommending me Debbie Downer videos like this. Goose, what are you doing?